The $1.9 trillion stimulus package relief bill is officially being signed, and this is where it gets interesting. Our main concern on this channel is the housing market. What's gonna happen to the housing market? Is it going to crash? Are there gonna be cheaper house prices? Are evictions going into play? Are foreclosures going into play? What's happening? In this video, I'm giving you all the answers right now. So remember, if you get any value, please don't forget to hit that like button so the video can get pushed to other people who like content like this just like you. Now, the $1.9 trillion stimulus package is a lot of money, guys. I sometimes wonder, do people actually know how much money this is? $1 billion is $999 million. Imagine you just want $1 million. This is $999 million of those $1 million that you want. $1 trillion is $999 billion. It's unreal. This is not a small amount. This is a huge stimulus package, and our focus is the housing market. What's being funded into the housing market? So to give it off the top, $30 billion from this $1.9 trillion is going to the housing market, and that's a lot in itself. What this $30 billion is going to do is the following. It's going to help homeowners who are paying mortgages that might get delinquent. It's going to help those who may be in default with their loans. It's going to help with evictions. It's going to also help with foreclosures, and most importantly, it's going to give mortgage payment assistance. Now, this assistance is to promote stability for homeowners. This is exactly what I've been sharing with you guys in all my other videos about the market being artificial and fake. Providing stability for homeowners means what exactly when you're just injecting billions and billions of dollars into the housing market? This $30 billion is a clear injection into the housing market to stabilize it from collapsing. What the government woke up one day and said is, hey, let's inject $1.9 trillion into the market. Let's let everybody think that everything is okay. Let's keep everything floating. Let's give $30 billion to the housing market. Let's not let the housing market literally collapse, because if we don't inject this money, that's exactly what's going to happen. So there they did it. They gave the $1.9 trillion to the economy and $30 billion to the housing market. Now they're saying they want to create stability, but the truth is this is far from stability. This is everything but stability. What they're doing is just delaying the true pain of a housing collapse, a foreclosure crisis, an eviction crisis, and a crisis in any way that you could possibly think when it comes to housing markets. As we all know, right now the housing market is on fire. Supply is so low, demand is so high, interest rates are low. They're actually starting to creep up a bit, but they're still staying stable. So everybody's on fire trying to get that next house. And there's only really like one house in this one neighborhood that everybody wants, so the prices are starting to go higher and higher and higher, and everybody's starting to outbid one another. And the craziest thing is I'm a real estate agent myself. I do this 24/7, 365 every single day, and on offers that we're placing just to win, clients are saying put waivers on appraisals, put waivers on the inspections. I'm gonna pay $20,000 overpriced and I'll pay the difference in cash. It's insane. And on top of all of that, they're still losing the bid on the home. We are in an artificial market that I've been saying for the past couple of months. Moody's is an American financial services company that states it estimates that landlords are owed in back rent, fees, and utilities over $57 billion. That's ridiculous. This can't continue. So many landlords are bleeding because the tenants aren't paying. Now they're having to go to their lenders. Their lenders are giving them some crazy things that's gonna help them, but the reality is it's not helping them. It's screwing them even more, and they're just sitting over there saying, should I take the forbearance? Should I just take the hit? How am I gonna get from underwater? All the tenants are leaving in my shopping centers. Tenants in my residential homes are not paying rent. They're just lost. And tenants don't care. Their hands are lifted. They're like, hey, I can't get evicted. Hey, I don't have to get foreclosed on by the bank. Hey, I can just request forbearance and show that I'm in some stress and the bank's gonna give me it. Hey, why not just do that? Now keep in mind, this $30 billion that's being injected into the housing market is helping all homeowners, is assisting in all aspects. It's assisting in many different ways, but to top it all off, this is aside from the foreclosure and evictions moratoriums, which is pushing out that nobody can get foreclosed on or evicted. And we've already already had these in place and saw that President Joe Biden extended that as well. So basically, aside from the forbearance and the moratoriums on evictions and foreclosures, this is another thing on top of that, which is $30 billion being injected, which is really juicing the housing market to get even hotter. It's showing everybody that everything is cool. Continue doing what you're doing. Continue purchasing property. Continue overbidding. Continue not paying your rent. Continue not paying your mortgages. Continue not listing your house on the market because you actually can't afford it, so supply stays extremely low, and keep the demand on fire to show we're in a tough market. The reality is, guys, is behind the curtains, the housing market's in deep waters. Now, I don't want anyone to get this confused. I'm all for the governments trying to help the people who are struggling because of the pandemic, who actually can't afford their house payments, who actually can't afford their rental payments, who are actually about to be on the verge of homelessness, who really need this assistance. I'm not against any of that. In fact, I'm all for that, and may God be with them, and may this stimulus and all this money actually help them. But what this video is about the housing collapse, the housing crash, the housing crisis, and what we're dealing with in the real estate market in particular. We're not saying we don't want anyone to get help. We're just sharing info to show you that we're in a market that's really artificially pumped by the governments. And for all of you who are watching this video, number one, you might be looking to buy a house, you might be looking to sell, you might be an investor, you might be interested in real estate. So you want to know, should I get into the market right now or should I not? Should I get in later or should I wait? What should I do? And that's the point of these videos, to let you see the actual market that we're in and how fake things are today. Now, what I want you to all do that's watching this video is put 2 and 2 together and realize what we're really going through in the housing market, the real estate market as a whole. Also, with the stimulus package, $300 every single week for unemployment benefit is now going into effect as well. This is going up until September 2021. This isn't for a week, 2 weeks, this is for months. That's gonna happen to millions of Americans who have filed unemployment. I personally saw, I'm a real estate agent who does a lot of commercial real estate. I have landlords who have shopping centers, and these landlords are like, hey, the tenant's leaving. And then I call the tenant and we start to discuss, and one barber, he actually was there for 15 years in a single location, very successful. He goes, Karam, everyone who cuts here, all my barbers, they're not showing up anymore. And I was curious, I was like, why aren't they showing up? He goes, because they're getting more money on the unemployment benefit rather than having to show up. They're like, I'll just sit at home, do nothing, cut no hair, and I'll still get paid. Why would I go work? Now, this was months ago from the other stimulus package that was given. So what's gonna happen now when the unemployment benefits come back into effect and people start to realize they can get paid when they can just sit at home? Business owners are gonna struggle, landlords are gonna have tenants leaving, people are gonna be like, why go work when I can just get free money, chilling at home, drinking a Coca-Cola and watching Karam's YouTube videos? Guys, the government is doing everything they can to prevent a housing collapse, and there's nothing more clear than what we're seeing today. All of you saw that the feds dropped the rate to literally 0%, which caused interest rates to go extremely low, very cheap, all-time low, which is good for people who are in real estate, but bad because the wrong people are getting into real estate. We're having home buyers with zero experience thinking that they can overpay $50,000 and say, hey, because the rate's low, I'm only gonna pay $200 more a month. Hey, I can afford it. Boom, let's overpay. So this low rate is causing a hot market. It's making money circulate into the markets, and it's making movement happen and encouraging people to invest and to buy, which is what the government wants. But once again, it's all artificial and it's all fake. Because what happens when the market retraces 20%, 30%, 40%? People assume that's not going to happen, but the reality is, even if it goes back 10, 20%, it was already overpriced in the beginning, so it's really not retracing into a dead market. It's just retracing back to its original levels where it should have been. The market in simple is delaying the truth. It's delaying a massive foreclosure dump. It's delaying a massive eviction crisis. It's delaying a massive housing crash. All the government is doing is delaying and delaying and delaying in hopes that things get better, but the reality is, how could it when you're pumping in fake money and fake hope and fake prices and fake markets? Man, that's a lot of ands. But you guys get the point. This is not sustainable. House prices can't keep going on to the roof. Eventually, it's gonna have to cool down. It's gonna have to come down. And when it comes down, it's gonna come down like a falling knife. and it's not gonna look pretty, and it's not gonna look like what everybody thought it was. It's gonna be worse. Because the reality is, trillions of dollars being pumped, the market's being overpriced in all aspects, not just the real estate market, even the stock market, where you got Tesla's PE ratio over 124x. That's for another video. That's ridiculous. So for everybody watching this video wondering, is a housing crash happening? Is there gonna be a collapse? Are we in a crisis? Is the real estate market going up or going down? What's really happening? I hope this video made it clear for you in regards to the $1.9 trillion stimulus package that's been accepted, and also the real estate market, the housing market in particular, and what we see going to happen in the near future. In my opinion, things are artificially pumped. In my opinion, things can't sustain for the long run, and eventually it's gonna have to come down. But at the end of the day, we're gonna have to see how long the government keeps on pumping up the markets, and we're just gonna have to play with it, stay on the sidelines, or jump in. But either way, you're gonna see what's gonna happen eventually, and there's no way to avoid it. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you got some value, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. I upload 3 times every single week, and you don't wanna miss out. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. I'm out.